Hello class, Professor Hatter here. We are doing a new segment. We're going to try to do a weekly segment here of a tip of the cap to the news of every week. We'll try. We'll see how this works out. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this. I want to, of course, but my pattern you've seen before. Yikes. But we have a few topics from this week that aren't exactly hat drop related. Some of them, yes, are, but kind of something I wanted to at least focus on. Kind of talking about Lids HD having a collab a third time around with a certain female company, and kind of showing off that there are fake fans out there. 47 brand forgets where the map is of the United States. We have the end of the NHL first season with New Era back together. We also have leaked on-field hats for an upcoming holiday, where I guess rope is not dope, but camo is ammo for me. We also have, with New Era, having a new hat style that came out, brand new style that has come out, which also coincides with the NBA draft hats, which is a decently important topic for me, I would say, considering it was one of my first video topics. Actually, it was my first video topic that I talked about on this channel nearly 7 years ago. So, get a notebook, pen, and pencil, or if you just want to watch the news here, let's go. So, starting out the news week here, Lids HD did a collaboration for the third time now in the last, I believe, 2 years. Lids and Made for the W did a collaboration and had a new lineup of WNBA 5950 fitted hats. I do have some in the one of the boxes there. I was excited for the collection. Again, I think it's this tote here, this box. I do have all the WNBA teams until the Golden State Valkyries came about, and I know that the Toronto Tempo are going to be a team that will officially start next year. There is some merchandise for the Tempo out. Granted, they do need to maybe get a new logo that doesn't look like it's from the Pacers or from an older shoe company. But regardless, I've been collecting WNBA hats before it was cool, so I was very intrigued with this collection. Figured I wouldn't get any because of being sold out, and kind of the case with the New York Liberty, which used the old school original logo from when they were founded in, well, the league was founded in '96, but the first game wasn't until '97. So it was a little while, but they're an original member. I mean, they were great hats that came out. A lot of them had side patches, nice two-tone coloring. The Fever hat looked great in the yellow. The Valkyrie hat did as well. I like the Dallas Wings hat. The Sky hat looked good. I didn't get any of them. I've been trying to slow down on hats and trying to be better at budgeting. But this was a great collab. At least the first day, the first hour, really, it was that New York Liberty hat that sold out the fastest. I think that there might have been some other hats that sizes sold out quickly as well, but I hadn't checked since the original date that it had dropped. But great that at least there's some awareness, some views to the WNBA. But hopefully that this also means expanding the watching and the supporting of the WNBA themselves. So if there's still some hats left over, I'll try to get some. I'll see what I can do, what the budget will allow, and if I did had to get one, I mean the Seattle Storm was also a retro one, which is also tempting too, kind of using the some older green and red colors compared to their green and yellow now. So I wrote in my notes here, 47 brand, lack of Midwest or anyone other than AL/NL East. So the 47 brand company had a drop of some nice cleanup hats that had badges on the side. So I thought that, like, hey, that'd be cool. They're side patches, basically. And it's kind of like a little grouping of like 3 or 4 little patches. And 47 brand does this a lot where they have and I've seen lately where they have this like color kind of coordination of like the spring, the winter time, now summertime they've done a color palette like collection. It turned into just only a very small handful of teams. Just Yankees, Red Sox, Braves, Phillies, and Dodgers. And that's really it. And the same thing for this collection as well. And that's usually how I've seen it gone, which a little frustrating where it's like, I mean, Braves are a team that I like, but, I do want to buy more Cubs hats too, for sure. It'd also be nice to see, other teams out there, but it just kind of seems like they forget about some of the other teams, in between California and the East Coast. So a little disappointing there, but I mean, they were good designs at least. That's fine. So I might expand a little bit more on this in another video, perhaps, but I at least wanted to address a little bit of how it's the end of the NHL season coming up here, where, yes, we're in the Stanley Cup final, so it's like only Game 3 is coming up, tied at 1 apiece. It's been a really good series so far. Well, except for the fact that Marchand, the dirty rat, scored a goal that just slid and snuck right in. Whatever. But it's been very, very heartwarming to see all the NHL hats that have been coming out, all the fitted hats that have been coming out, primarily. I had remembered years ago being told by a Lids associate on the State Street in Chicago, in the State Street store, back in 2019, I remember this happening. Back in 2019, they had said by 2023, 24, they're going to bring back or maybe the year before, but they're going to bring it back in the future. And I was off by a year or two with that prediction, and pretty close otherwise. I didn't go over at least, so it's good though. I think and I want to kind of do maybe more of a video highlighting a few of the greater hat drops that have been done with NHL and New Era collaborating there, and some of the designers have been going through the catalog of the hats and teams, where I think Anthem and Still have been 2 standouts for me. Other than, just the on ice, team basic hats, something that I've wanted to get. I didn't get some of them, which is my own damn fault. But those 2 Canadian stores have really done a really, really good job this past season of having hockey New Era hats. Berdine has done a good job with some of their Blackhawks hats. A little bias there, being from Chicago, so I'll admit that. Topper's store, Bronx, has been doing a great job too. I've bought 1 or 2 hats from them, maybe 2, or at least there were more that I wanted and might have missed out on, which also kind of shows off how there's, the fake fans out there, and the real sports fans like myself, have to fight, even with the Hat Club drops too. They've been pretty good too. Some have just fallen apart, where you have to just either take the loss because some other people had bots. Maybe that's still a thing. I don't know. Hopefully it isn't. But this has been a good first season. I think my biggest kind of wonderment was how, if you look at this row here of hats, this row of hats on my shelving, it's a combination of every year of the All-Star Game and then the World Series hat next to each other. And of course, with the All-Star Games, there's a bit of more individuality, more personality to those kinds of logos that are put in. for that team, that city, that stadium. But then for like the World Series, sometimes it can be, hey, this is kind of different. This is kind of cool. But sometimes it can be like stock. But with the NHL, the Stanley Cup logo, like championship, has been stale. I mean, that's fine. But, for a side patch standpoint, it's like, this is going to be boring. It has worked out, I think. It has worked out. I did order a hat recently from New Era that did a 30% off summer sale, and one of the days was hockey. Hats. Got a Vegas Golden Knights hat. But there were other teams out there with the Stanley Cup trophy side patch, which still looked cool. Might not have, as much individuality, but it did make the hat work, and it still celebrates the team's accomplishments. Even if that's, 3 times what the Blackhawks are doing compared to, like, the St. Louis Blues. Yes, I know you have one, but it's less than us. So there is a leak, perhaps, from Reddit of the 4th of July 2025 on-field hat for MLB this year. I'll put it on the screen for you to see if you haven't already, where it was pretty odd that beforehand in May, there was no announcement of a Mother's Day hat. And as I'm recording, a week before Father's Day, no other announcement of Father's Day hats. They had an Armed Forces Day hat for Memorial Day, like they have in the past, but nothing for the Parents' Weekend, which seemed a little odd. No official word has come through to this news source on why that might be the case. But if this is the case for the 4th of July Day leak, that it's a good color. I like the color. Instead of it being like a neon-ish blue, a bright blue, and a neon-like red, it really reminds me more of like that popsicle rocket, It's what the colors remind me of. In years past, they've kind of done alternating colors. I mean, this is only just one picture. Sometimes they've done it where it's alternating of red or blue. I've seen in the past of the same design, but one team gets red, one team gets blue. And we've tried to figure out as a community, does that mean it's because of like the home and the away team? And it's not usually the case. Whatever. But this year, this is a cool at least color. If it's going to be the same for all the teams, that's even better to keep it more consistent in terms of manufacturing, probably. Now, the other thing that you might notice, the rope on there. Now, as much of a hat diversity person that I am not a fan of the rope myself, to be honest. In some situations, it can work. This one, stylistically, it actually kind of does. It's white. It looks like it has a speckled pattern to it that has red and blue to it, where it does work. Now, overall, I don't like the rope look. It's a 90s look, really. It's something that should have stayed in the 90s. That's my thought process. Now, some people are going to be really on it. I've seen a few people already posting and commenting on various Facebook groups and other postings, group chats that I've been a part of, where, oh, it looks so ugly and, it's terrible and I don't like it. They did a bad job this year. Now, especially when those kind of comments come from Fitted Hat Society on Facebook, most of you guys will cheer and go totally hard on for Realtree camo. And that shit is disgusting. That is an awful looking hat pattern. So, like Rick Sanchez said,
your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah, the same sentiments there. So, it's leaked. It's not official technically yet. So, we'll see. We still have a little bit of time to go. Usually it's about 2 weeks ahead that they might announce it, at least in the years past. So, we'll see how this one goes. But if it is true, it'd be cool. last point of week 1 of June 2025, busy week. Want to put a few things down here. That the NBA draft hats have been announced, and this year they are in a new hat style. A brand new hat style that New Era has announced called the 1920. Now, I do recall the 1920 being a hat style actually years ago before COVID. I remember it being back when I was in college even, about 2016, 17 range, where I remember seeing it in stores, and it was more of a retro style, kind of like a fitted but a relaxed crown, kind of like what a dad hat would be in a way, where it's an unstructured crown, no buckram. But from what I've seen from this 1920 hat in person, I went to the lid store, I'll put some footage up on the screen from what I had seen, is the hat style overall resembles so much to a 47 brand hitch, where snaps in the back, although for the NBA draft hats it's a buckle, which is very odd, but otherwise what I've seen from the 1920s on New Era's website so far, snaps in the back, a semi-structured crown. It doesn't have buckram to it, but it has this sort of flap inside. Has a almost like an A-frame kind of feel with the brim on the top here, a little point, and a pre-curved brim. And that was noted on the sticker on the brim of the one Bulls hat that I did see at the lid store. Now that one was more of a nylon material. I didn't see what the actual tag said, but I'm guessing it would have said polyester, but it didn't feel polyester. It was very much a nylon's feel to it. Now I did order a 1920 myself. It's a blank one. That's going to be a navy color. That's between navy and stone. Went with navy. One of my favorite hat colors. Actually, stone is too, but went with the navy first. And we'll be coming in to do a full in-depth review on that and comparing it to the 47 brand hitch style and the golfer style hat, where it was kind of more similar to this, but now it's very, very much like the hitch hat. It also does kind of, from one group chat that I'm part of, someone had mentioned how New Era buying out 47 brand in the last year or so might have been an influence for this new style. So I don't know if that is true or if it's a coinky dink. We'll have to see when we get in hand. But that is it for the first week of June. I know there's probably a lot there. I tried to condense as much as I could. And from the topics I had here, I wanted to get to a few. You don't always have to talk about hat drops. There's other things that happen about hats in the world out there, not just fitted hats as well. So, let me know in the comments down below if you guys have heard anything about this stuff in the news. If you're excited for the 1920 New Era hat styles to come out, and any thoughts about if you got yourself one of those WNBA hats as well. Maybe if you're going to get that, if it is true that 4th of July Day hats, even with the rope. And it's probably going to be easier to cut off anyways if you don't like it. So, but that's all for me today for the first week. I am Professor Header. As always, hats off to you for watching. We'll see you next time in class, everybody. Class is dismissed.